Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hello dear students, welcome to another lecture. In this class we are going to begin with chapter 4 of class 7 English Grammar Netherlands Board, which is pronouns and kinds of pronouns. Now before we understand what are the different kinds of pronouns, it is very significant for us to know what is a pronoun in the first place. Now, if I give you an example, let's say Ram is a wonderful boy. Ram lives in New Delhi. Ram has 2 brothers. Ram has wonderful parents. Ram goes to school every day. Ram wakes up early in the morning, etc., etc., etc. Now, all the sentences spoken by me, you notice, had the repetition of the noun Ram again and again, right? Rather than using this noun just once, I kept on repeating this again and again. So what is the alternative I have? What if I do not want to use the noun again in the sentence? I am going to replace it with the pronoun. So pronouns are those words which are used in place of nouns. We have different types of nouns. If my noun is a male, I'm going to use he. If my noun is a female, I'm going to use she. If my noun is a non-living thing, I'm going to use it. If my noun is plural, I'm going to use they. If my noun includes me also, I'm going to use we, and so on and so on. So basically, a pronoun is something that is used. It is a word which is used in place of a noun. So pronoun refers to the substitute for noun. That is, if we do not want to use the noun again and again in the sentence, we replace it with a pronoun. So let us look at the examples which are given in your book. My mother is in the kitchen. Now, should I say my mother is in the kitchen? My mother is preparing a dish. The dish will be very tasty. No, I can use for my mother, I can say she. And for the dish, I can use it. So these are the 2 pronouns that I have replaced the nouns with. Let us look at the second sentence. The rich are not always happy. Now, the rich is a plural. It is a group of people that I am talking about. Should I say the rich are not happy? The rich are always looking for money. The rich have their own problems. The rich have their own tensions. No, why to repeat the noun the rich again and again? I can replace it with they. So they have their own problems or worries. The third sentence as given in your book, it says, I'm going out on business, said the managing director to his general manager. So the managing director said to the general manager. Now what is the pronoun I can use for the general manager if the manager is talking to him? You. You have to look after the company in my absence. Similarly, Kalidas was a great writer. What pronoun can I use for Kalidas? He. He wrote many plays in Sanskrit. So basically, those words that we use to replace my nouns, he, she, it, they, their, you, my, all these words are pronouns, and as I told you, the reason why we use pronouns is to avoid any sort of a repetition. In order to avoid the noun being called out again and again, we use a pronoun. And a pronoun, since it is replacing the noun, so we are going to use it in the place of. There, are in total 9 types of nouns, and we are going to learn about each one of them. We have personal pronouns, possessive pronouns, reflexive pronouns, emphatic pronouns, interrogative pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, indefinite pronouns, distributive pronouns, and relative pronouns. So these are in total 9 types of pronouns, and as I said, we are going to learn about each one of them in detail. So first, let us begin with the personal pronoun. Now, as the name in itself suggests, that pronoun which is used either for a person or for a thing. The example that I gave you, Ram, again and again. Ram is a person. What is the pronoun I replaced Ram with? He. Kalidas, again, that was one of the examples of your book. We replaced the noun Kalidas with a pronoun he again. If there is a girl I am talking about and I don't wish to repeat the noun being called out again and again, what is the pronoun I'm going to replace the girl with? She. So similarly, those pronouns that are going to represent, that are going to replace a person or a thing are known as personal pronouns. He, she, it, they, we, our, this, our. These are all what? These are all personal pronouns. For example, as it is given in your book, let us read them. Do you remember our cat? She had kittens last week. So I'm talking about the cat. And since she gave birth, so we know that it is a she. So I use the pronoun she for the cat. What is the shape of this table? Talking about the table. What pronoun am I going to use to replace the table? It. I visited Kolkata and Chennai last month. I'm talking about 2 cities now. It is plural, so as I said, he, she, it, they, are, we. These are all the personal pronouns because we are going to use these pronouns in place of a person, in place of a thing. This table, dear students, as you can see on your screens, is very important and you need to remember that. Now, when we talk about pronouns, we know that my noun can either be singular or it will be plural. Yes? Singular pronoun can be used either in place of a subject or in place of an object. Similarly, the plural pronoun can either be used in place of a subject or in place of an object. We know by now what is a subject, what is an object. We've read that and we've understood that thoroughly in chapter 1. So the pronouns can either be used in place of subject or it can be used in place of an object. Also, the pronouns, there are 3 persons when we talk about a pronoun. First person, second person, third person. Now first let us understand what are these 3 persons and then we'll get back to this statement. Now, if you are speaking to somebody, at the same time, I am the speaker, I am talking about myself, right? What are the pronouns that I'm going to use for myself? I and are, right? I am going to use I, are, as well as we. We can also be used for first person. So all those pronouns which include myself as the speaker to be a part of them, that is first person. I am talking to my brother. Our house is very beautiful. We are planning to buy a new house, and so on and so forth. So I, are, and we. These three pronouns are first person pronouns and will always be used in place of a subject. Can you ever say in place of an object, can you use I? If I say, he is my best friend. Can I ever say that? No. He is my best friend, he is her best friend, he is his best friend. Right? Similarly, I cannot say, he is us best friend again. He is our best friend, I can say. Right? So the pronouns have a definite place for subject as well as object. So I, we, and are those first person pronouns that will always be used in place of a subject. And what are the first person objects that we will use? Me and us. Okay? Then comes the second person. Now, what is the second person? If you are the speaker, if I am the speaker, I am always talking to you. There's somebody I'm talking to. So the direct person that I'm talking to, that is the second person. And that is you. I'm always talking to you. Right? I talk to you. I speak to you. I am directly conversing to you. So the first person, that is the speaker, will always directly speak to the second person, who is the listener. And for the second person, the pronoun, be it singular or plural, in place of subject or object, is going to be you. And then comes the third person. Third person means when the subject or when the speaker is talking to you, to the listener, about somebody else. If I'm speaking to you about a girl, that will be she. If I'm speaking to you about a boy, it is going to be it. If I'm if I'm talking to you about a non-living thing, it is going to be it. If I'm talking to you about a lot of people, it is going to be they, right? So the third person pronouns, when we talk about the singular third person pronouns, we have he, she and it. And what are the objects of these third person subjects? He changes to him, she changes to her, and it remains as it is. And when we are talking about plural, my subject, my pronoun in place of the subject will be they. And what is the object? It is them. So, what do we understand over here? We've understood three things. Personal pronouns are first person, second person, and third person. First person pronoun is used for myself. Any conversation which involves the speaker. And what are the pronouns that are going to be used for the speaker? I, are, we. If it is singular, I. If I have plural, are or we. And the object, if the pronouns take the place of the object, I changes to me, we and are changes to us. Second person pronoun refers to the listener, who the speaker is talking to directly. And the speaker is always talking to you. So the pronoun that we are going to use in the second person for all the cases, singular, plural, subject, object, is you. Then we have the third person pronoun. Third person pronoun refers to those people about whom the speaker and the listener are talking. So if me and you are talking about him or her or it or them, that is the third person. So these are my pronouns, and now let us understand the table. Yes. So I hope it is clear now. This table is clear to us. Another thing that you need to know, the noun, which the pronoun is representing, or the noun which the pronoun is replacing, is known as an antecedent. If I'm replacing he with Ram, so Ram is the antecedent. If I'm replacing Reena with she, Reena is the antecedent. If I'm replacing the king with he, again, the king is the antecedent. So, antecedent refers to the noun which the pronoun is representing, and your pronoun should always agree with your noun. Obviously, if my noun is male, I cannot use she. My noun is female, I cannot use he, and so on and so forth. Right? So, my dear students, as we have already discussed, first person, second person, third person, we've discussed about them in detail. So, we know that we have three types of personal pronouns. We have the first person, second person, third person. Also, the pronouns can take the place of either the subject or the object. Those pronouns which take the place of the subject are known as subject pronouns, and those pronouns that take the place of an object are known as object. I, we, you, she, it, they. They are always used as subjects, so they are subject pronouns. On the other hand, me, us, you, him, her, it, them, these are always used in place of objects and are known as object. There at times are cases where we use pronouns after the prepositions. We know what are prepositions? Yes, between, in, on, at, onto, into, across, through. These are all the prepositions. Those pronouns which are used immediately next to my preposition are known as objective form of the pronouns. This conversation, if I give you an example, this secret should remain between us. What is my preposition? Between. And what is my pronoun here? Us. So, us over here is the objective form of pronoun because it is used after the preposition. If I give another example, you will have to go without us, or without me, or without her, or without him, anything for that. Again, what is my preposition? Without. And after preposition, I have used a pronoun. So, this pronoun which is used after the preposition is known as the objective form of the pronoun. Now, there is always, there are cases. First, we've understood that at times there is a pronoun after the preposition. At times, there are verbs, the verb let, which requires the objective form of the preposition. Let us, let me. You have heard of these sentences? Let us go. Let me come. Let me help you. Let us try this problem. Let us try to find a solution to it. Let me help you. Let me come over to your place, and so on and so forth. So there are just two objective forms of pronouns which are used after let, that is us and me. I can never say let I go for a movie, let her, at times we say let her also. So her can also be used. Let him go for a movie. let them go for a movie, right? So us, me, her, him, them. These are all what? Those objective forms of pronouns which are used after the verb let. Next, it is me is something which is common. Okay? We usually say it is me. When somebody knocks at the door, who's there? It is me. Who's on the phone? It is me. Who is making that noise? It is me. This is incorrect. The correct usage is it is I. We never say it is me. That is just the spoken form of saying it. When we talk about the formal English, which is to be judged, which is to be assessed, it is always, it is I. Okay? Another rule that we need to keep in mind for personal pronoun, again, it may be her is something that we usually say, right? It may be her, but this is again incorrect. We have to say it may be she. So these are two cases that you need to know which will help you to learn the pronouns better. It is never it is me, though we do speak that, but the correct usage is it is I. Similarly, it may be her is incorrect. It is used while speaking, but in formal English it is always she. So it may be she, it may be he. Okay, this is how it is. So this, my dear students, was the first type of pronoun, which is personal pronoun. We talked about the first person, second person, third person pronouns. Then we also discussed about subjective pronouns, objective pronouns. We talked about the pronouns which are used after the prepositions, the objective form of the pronouns that are used after preposition, as well as the objective form of pronouns that are used after the verb let. Okay, so I'm going to pause here now. In the next lecture, we shall begin with the second type of pronoun, which is possessive. So I'm going to pause, dear students, and we'll see you all soon.